Okay, I wanted to demonstrate lab 4 for you all. Let's clean it and make it. Okay, first thing, let's run it with the help to see what kind of options we have here. It's pretty standard options, same as other programs you've made. In fact, actually less options. Really the only one is the port, of course the verbose flag, and the help message, but the port is the kind of major one there. Okay, so let's run it. Let's run it with verbose on, because otherwise it's going to be pretty boring because nothing will be printed out. So there, running. So one important thing about a server is that it just sits and waits for clients. So I print out some messages. Your messages can be different. Mine's just sitting there waiting for clients to come. Okay, over here in this window, I'm going to run netcat. I'm going to connect to it. The default port is 8080. Now, normally you could use your client, but I wanted to kind of abstract that away in case your client isn't working properly or there's issues with it. To test out the functionality of your server, it's best probably use netcat. So there, you can already see that my server detected that a client connected. Netcat right now is waiting for me to enter an input, so I can do uppercase for test. There, I got a response, test, all uppercase. Once again, there's some log messages. That's up to you what you want to write. This is what I wrote. So that's essentially the server just sits there, knows how it's waiting now for another client to come in. So we could do it again. Case. Okay, so it's just going to sit there waiting for clients. It's going to run forever, my server, unless you stop it explicitly, which is also part of this lab, is when you go to your server and hit Control-C, it should handle that properly. Now, the only way you can tell that I'm handling it properly is that I have this one error or log message saying handling the interrupt. But you need to have an interrupt handler for when someone presses Control-C on your process. It should be able to handle that and close out your server properly. Now, you are seeing that I print out as an error here. That's expected, because what's happening is my socket, I'm listening to my socket waiting for clients to come in, and then I close that socket. And so an error is going to occur saying, hey, the socket closed and I'm trying to listen to it. So that's what that error is. I could have not put it as an error because it's expected. I chose to keep it as an error, but that's a correct behavior. So it's okay if you have an error like that when it's trying to accept, because the socket is blocking, waiting for it to more clients to come in, and you're closing it. So there's that. Let's just show changing the port. Let's do that. So now netcat no longer works here. Can't connect to anything because there's nothing running on that port. But now if you do this, it now connects and runs properly. So that's good. Another thing that's important for a server is that it's robust. So if someone sends a bad malformed message to your server should be able to handle that properly and not crash and just send out an error message or do something and then just keep chugging along. So let's show that here. So if I do test something that's not allowed under the protocol, it should respond with error. That's part of the specification for this lab, but it should still work. It shouldn't crash or anything like that. Okay, that's it for lab 4.